can use the Maokai ultimate to approach them, and then you have the Varus ultimate to find picks and stuff. They have a lot of playmaking in their toolkit with a lot of crowd control. So I'm a big fan of the team fighting options that GAM will have later into the game.
I feel like GAM should be looking for a lane swap early levels at least. You know, if you're facing the...
Beat Fnatic and take down the West here. It's already been done earlier with PSG. Now how EU are going to fare against GAM running into this series.
Yeah, GAM already, like you mentioned, in beating Loud. Really impressive stuff from them considering what went on in the BCS this year and overcoming that hurdle already to get here.
Yep.
Now, you know, they're just going to full send it. They'll look for some aggressive stuff. They come out with a pretty interesting opening here with the double wards up on top side to try and scout out if there is anything questionable.
I mean, Fnatic would definitely love standard lanes.
Yep.
And even if GAM choose to swap away, I can tell you right now, Fnatic's going to take a page of the PSG book and push as fast as possible to funnel those plates into their bot lane. But we're going to see the swap come through. GAM have 4 members on the top side of the map. Oscar, let's see how he responds.
The big thing to look at here is if you're going to force this as GAM, you need to make sure that Xin doesn't steal away your camps. Razork is trying to start on Wolves right now. If Razork could steal away those Wolves, then at least you get a little bit of extra off of like the side of the map that you're not supposed to get technically as Fnatic. And so Oscar's heading right over to him to try and help him burst down those Wolves.
Yes,
maybe get the small ones.
But Elio's coming in as well. Level 1 Maokai. I mean, all he can do is Q and maybe get this Ignite down. It's Smite that gets to level 2, but for Razork, no further engage. When becomes Lightning, sends them off. Blue buff resets a bit, which gives them a bit of timing, but as it's re-aggroed, GAM is still right where they want to be.
And Fnatic did accomplish that like mini goal I'm talking about, where they steal away one camp from the offside, so they'll be pretty happy with that.
Interesting. So Fnatic actually choosing to go for the slow push, trying to mitigate the amount of minions as possible, also building up this massive stack so they can stay on the tower for longer. Kiaya gonna hover around the top side. Let's see if GAM can push this tower as quickly as possible, because that's looking to be their game plan. They have 2 waves together right now. Let's see how many plates they can secure.
Plus they have Demolish as well here for Elio. Just as a side note, just have to see if Kiaya has it, while this Urgot will start burning down turrets quick too.
Remember, there are 2 defenses up there at work. One is the 50% damage reduction for the first 5 minutes. The other, of course, is the extra 45 armor for every champion that is within 850 range when the turret plate dies. 850 range is actually not that much range. I was wondering if
Look at how slowly it died.
Yeah, I was wondering if we would see like small optimizations where people would then, as a plate is about to die, like back off out, you know, to like 900 range and try and not get that extra armor on it. But grouping up there, and yeah, you can start to see the pushing difference.
So squishy.
Describing it perfectly, and we're getting to see it on our screen. Even though 3 people on the top side, all those extra resistances, making it that much slower in terms of the siege. 2 plates will be secured, shared across 3 people, but 2 plates secured on the bot side, shared across 2 people. Yep. The biggest difference is that Kiaya is getting experienced.
Yep.
Very close to level 2. We talked a lot about it already today in the FlyQuest PSG series, where the advantage of being in lane is just, even if you're not taking all of this farm, you are getting that XP. And that means that Kiaya can just lane and be in a better position moving forward.
And Kiaya with his extra Demolish up there too. The extra Demolish really making a big difference. Urgot is also like a notorious good tower pusher, especially later on to the game too. So they've actually done quite a good job here with this force from GAM. This is kind of what we were expecting from them as far as the you know, comp coming out for the first few levels. And now is the part where they're trying to get a little bit of extra information on the retake here. You see Levi comes over, drops the ward, and they will find that Fnatic have cleans it out. Okay,
so 2 plates left remaining. TP going to be used, and Elio was sitting on a ward, so they know that they were hovering as Kiaya hovers himself and picks up this wave. We just have to see what the reset looks like from Fnatic, and surely enough, they match with the 3rd plate taken by Easy Love as well.
Nicely done overall from GAM. They provide that extra bit of security for Kiaya, conscious of the fact that a dive could be a possibility for Fnatic, but Elio is right there to support him, which means that they're able to escort him into lane. He's able to get a bit more farm and experience. He's going to choose the base now, and I'm keeping my eyes on the lane assignments once again. We see Levi making his way towards top.
Yeah, because they know, they already see Oscar on the wave. So GAM have accomplished all of their goals so far with this lane swap. Quite smooth stuff from them, despite, Razork, of course, stealing away at least one small extra little camp. But Oscar on the push out on top side will be met by Kiaya. They saw him and went for that recall you're talking about.
But let me just quickly talk about Razork, because there is a CS differential in jungle that's built up. Maybe that denial has a big part to do with it, as Kobe, you were talking about earlier. But as he clears his top side, I mean, Razork will be hitting level 6, it feels like, about half a level earlier, as he's now 5 and close to getting that with his reset.
Well, the advantage for Razork is not only was he able to get his wolves, but he then had the map split, secures all the camps on the bot side of GAM's jungle and his own jungle, and on the reclear gets access to both his wolves and his Gromp again.
Yep.
So ultimately, being able to secure still camps from his top side jungle means that he now finds himself with a pretty healthy advantage over Levi and almost a full level over him.
And a lot of it is because of the respawn timers, because he started over on this side and he knows Levi started the respawn timers on in his blue quadrant, then he gets right over there, and that allows him the timer here to come back towards bottom side.
Now he has his eyes on both protecting his bot side of the map, but also starting off this dragon. Once we get the minimap back on our screen, you'll notice the pressure that Humanoid has in mid. Orianna can be a very effective lane bully, and even though in the early levels Humanoid was taking the short end of the trades, you can see now he has a lot more control over the wave matchup. Along with the pressure that they have in bot, easily secures Razork this dragon. And
then because of those respawn timers that we're talking about with the path, where they got the really early ones on the wolves and the Gromp, then Razork, after finishing dragon, can go right down for another clear again. And it looks like should be Levi and GAM answering the grubbies.
Yep. So now the question for me comes from, what does Razork choose to do now? He's getting a bit of information in the enemy jungle, but my instinct says he's going to look to dive, and that's exactly what he's going to go for. We talked about it earlier. Fnatic love to dive, and they're sending it for the play right now.
And look at the poke with the Ashe and the Kalista as well. You see how easy it is for Jun, even though
Humanoid
taking
as
the turret
well.
shot. As Humanoid looks to be walking down, he has the shockwave too, and the poke comes through. The heal forced out in the return, but Jun's caught out, but never mind. Razork gets the trade, but under turret, he's gone so deep, he's gonna die. It's just about where the trade can be found. Noah's out of turret range. A double goes over to Elio. That might be worth it for Fnatic, considering Noah gets to push the wave in.
Yeah, they still get all the kills down there, but it was a good job, in a tough situation there for the GAM bottom lane, where Elio immediately flashes on Noah and gets the Q bump back under tower. In the end, they still pull it off.
I mean, I was impressed with how GAM were able to turn that dive around, because with the HP bars, it was looking like a clean sweep for Fnatic, but they're able to get that kill onto Jun. And crucially, all the kills didn't go over to Noah, but as you rightly said, a lot of farm loss there for Easy Love means that he's going to lose out on getting a little bit of a delay level 6.
And this is the key right here. Elio immediately goes for it. He sees them.
Really nice play.
Gets the aggro on him. Jun has it. Then they get the flash, and they have to force flash too, so Razork used his flash to follow him and make sure that they could get the kill onto Varus. So then they get the 2 here. Nicely done, yeah. Both of the kills and the kill credit, of course, does go over to the support Maokai, but tough spot.
Overall, I would say it's still a play in favor of Fnatic.
Yep.
They'll still be happy with how things panned out, but you could definitely argue that dive could have gone better if you are a Fnatic fan.
And I mean, look, at least Levi will be happy. Oh, Razork, lost a bit of time. That CS lead disappears, but he got a kill. But plus that bottom lane starts integrating into the game quite nicely for Fnatic, considering the wave shoves into Noah. Razork's back down here on a ward, and there's still pressure on this 2v2 of Easy Love and Elio. And considering how they play out their lane, is still a bit risky.
I want to use this brief opportunity as well to highlight Humanoid. Look at the mid gap, 20 CS the difference now. He's been having a phenomenal tournament so far, and he's looking to continue that performance today, using his pressure to work with his team once again to steal away the blue buff and look for another play.
Peekaboo, wow, Elio, what a buffer of the arrow. Really nice timing of the twisted advance, but he's still not out of dodge. Wind becomes lightning, has the damage, a sidestep from Razork, beautiful from the Sonic Wave too.
They're
and
diving
Humanoid
again.
Gets his just due for Easy Love. Now how easy he's gonna get, not at all. Humanoid flashes away in the meantime though, and Sonic Wave connects, but they re-engage onto Levi. The King Flash looked good, but Noah got a double. It's still Fnatic's bot all the time in this game.
Oh, Fnatic, bot lane focus. The camp is paying off so incredibly well. Razork here, not even done. He doesn't have smite, so it's a fair fight there with Emo, and Emo does end up getting it, but still, Fnatic completely wiped them out. They take the entire tower plus all the extra kills here. Noah on this Kalista is going to be so incredibly powerful.
What a great dive and what a great play overall from Fnatic. We look back at the play. Nice use of the twisted advance from Elio to dodge away from the arrow. Humanoid holding onto the shockwave, doesn't want to commit it here this early onto just the support, but EasyLuff is left very isolated. Fnatic turn their attention, but also leaves Humanoid isolated. Emo with a really good knockback. The shockwave finally comes out from Humanoid, but the Q connects from Levi, but that ended up being his undoing. As while it is a nice kick, it doesn't really convert into much as Fnatic find themselves 3 kills.
Yeah, actually, Fnatic really happy to see that one because now...
Another play on top side. Look at Noah's damage. He just pops on up with hail of blades. He kites away. How easy was that? I mean, Noah was a bit invisible in the last series versus Top Esports, but today he's showing up nice and early.
Yeah, it's like the whole team lifting him up here this time around. Lethality, Callista to boot. Noah is just the king in the entire game right now. And Noah... Jun, excuse me, snipes him with the arrow to set it up, so it's just on a platter, served up. Now they're going to get teleported off behind them, though.
Noah doesn't have summoners apart from the cleanse available. That's a double TP, in fact, as the Nature's Grass doesn't do work.
They want to fight this.
Jun is here. GAM have committed 4 members to the top side, but Humanoid's here, Razork's here as well. But GAM Esports, this could backfire massively. Oscar and zones out Emo, while now the fear beyond death for Kiai starts it off, but it gets no fear for anyone in Fnatic. The kick away disengages. Well, at least Kiai gets a kill, but it could have been a lot worse considering Fnatic now move to the grubs.
I really was expecting Noah to ulti Jun back to safety, but they couldn't quite get in range to do it. Ends up being a trade 1-for-1 overall, but I think Fnatic trading mid laner for support should overall be happier with that exchange.
Yeah, they're going to clean up the grubs in the aftermath as well. The gold lead speaks for itself. Levi poking around out there. Actually, Kiai goes for it too. Look at the mini-map.
Arrow comes through. Remember, Shockwave wasn't used in that exchange. Look for it, look for it, look for it. Here it comes. Onto Elio. There's damage there with the Ashes. Well, distance forces the flash. While meanwhile, after the grubs were taken, we look towards the top side. For GAM, their top lane is caught out. This time, Kiai will be able to flash away, but it's matched nicely. Fnatic are running this early game, and GAM are running out of options fast.
Fnatic is a skirmish-heavy team. They love to brawl you, and they love to fight you in these 2v2s, 3v3s. And the worst thing you can do is try to meet them in the mud, because they love to play in the mud.
They love the mud.
And right now, GAM is just kind of going for these fights, going for these skirmishes, and Fnatic is outplaying them at every turn.
Vetty, you called it at the very beginning of the match, but Fnatic diving on bottom side after the swap back opened up the entire game. And they're leveraging that here for a very strong mid game. GAM are going to be able to pick up like the consolation prize, the dragon on the bottom side of the map. But Fnatic very happy with that topside victory.
But I mean, you consider after the topside victory, the double TP, the huge commitment from GAM. You then see what happens, and as we explained, big win for Fnatic here, considering the gold lead down bot is 3K in Noah's favor. Humanoid, Vetty has already talked about the laning phase, 20 CS lead, but he's also 1,000 gold up. And Razork is once again in a CS lead with gold on top of that. Razork doing very good in this early game jungler, as we know from watching the LEC how good he can be when he runs the map.
Oh, I mean, Razork, I think, is the lifeblood of this team. When he's having a good game is when Fnatic look like they're in their best form. And that's the beauty, right? You praise the individual players, but I'm sure if you go back into the VOD review, a lot of it's just going to be off the back of Razork's smart pathing, the way that he sets them up in the early game. He's just such an incredible jungler, and he's been the best performing jungler of the LEC throughout the entire year.
I think the Humanoid LeBlanc games were because of him as well. I mean, I think the Oscar and Camille game was set up from him as well.
He really is an incredible jungler, and he's playing on form this year. But again, we'll see if they can close it out, because I'll tell you right now, Fnatic love to fight, and that is both a blessing and a curse, and it makes their games very interesting to watch.
Find out. Chains of Corruption out of range. Nice sidestep from Noah. Tries to get the poke, but the arrow in the quiver hits from EasyLuff in the end. And it's because they're fighting, because Herald's coming up in 10 seconds up in this top side.
All right, yeah, let's see if GAM are ever going to be able to take that large bounty off Noah's head. The arrow hits again!
Beautiful, and the damage from Razork hurts like hell. The kick away, but it's only on the jungler. Flash, Crescent Guard, Wind becomes lightning. Almost getting a kill. Fnatic did commit a flash for that, but they make sure that Levi ain't going to be near this Herald for the next play.
Really nice play there from Levi. I will admit, greedy trying to go for the red buff. But you know what? He says, you have to force your flash for mine, so I'll take that trade for now. The Herald is, of course, going to fall, but Levi gets away with his life and the red buff.
Yeah, the alarm went off, and Fnatic were like, wait a second! You're not allowed to be there! Ash Arrow comes out, barely escapes, though, so nice little heist get a little something back for themselves. In the end, though, of course, because of the health chunk out, Razork is able to finish off the bigger objective there in Rift Herald. Now, opposite side of the map, let's take a look. Humanoid is a little bit dicey to stay down there, but Jun has his back. Jun is heading from lane.
Dive, Shockwave going to be used, though. It's only a one-man. Humanoid not going to get much value as Hemo takes it up for the time being and transition well. Jun's now here by himself, isolated, tries to kite through the minion wave as Noah uses the Q to get in range. The Weaver's Wall gets him as well with the Fate's Call and the turn. Noah setting him up. Jun goes and spawns halfway through a wall, but the arrow to follow through almost connects as Noah is feeling himself. Emo on the other side, but Jun is ready to catch him. The bot lane of Fnatic are alive and well.
Oh, they certainly are. Let's see about Razork, though.
How did he get here? Razork also feeling himself in a very Fnatic way.
Well, they got a couple more kills on the other side of the map, and that's the Fnatic I love. That's the Fnatic I want to watch. If they're not diving between two turrets, then I don't want to see it.
I mean, that is Fnatic through and through. I mean, great initial dive from GAM. I love the fact that they're punishing Humanoid on the side lane, knowing that he's on the weak side.
Yep.
I think in that situation, he's believing that he can outplay the situation, but they punish him effectively. The problem is the response from Fnatic. Noah and Jun on the collapse in the 2 versus 3 are able to make the outplay happen. But let's look back and see what happens, Tom.
Yeah, all right, so here's the first part of the dive where...
that's what happened. Okay. So Oscar says, I'm out. And Razork's like, okay, this is going to look really bad, but guys, it's not my fault.
It started out as a, we are going to dive them,
exactly.
and then it finished as a, you are going to dive them.
Yep.
But
credit to Razork.
my favorite part, though, was the bottom lane play where Noah comes in like, never mind, we're going to get back to the action.
Arrow going to hit Levi, though, and speaking of action, we're right back in it, aren't we? For Levi, no kick available, or rather flash to set it up. Razork re-engages, audacious charges, kick, disengage, and Noah poke. Hurts like hell. That's a 7-kill Kalista, by the way. And that might just open up to the top side here, and Kiaya having to be careful with all of Fnatic coming up.
Noah's kind of surfing around the map like Superman here. And there you can see a very rich Superman as well.
That's his cape.
Yeah.
Fluttering out behind him.
And, I mean, Levi's doing the appropriate thing right now, cross-mapping, trying to get whatever camps he can, knowing that there's still opportunities to find plays. Noah, no flash, Dragon spawning in 15 seconds. A great opportunity for GAM, especially if Levi can find a nice flank. If they can take Noah out, that's a lot of the gold gone. And admittedly, Humanoid, while he's in a better position than Emo is right now, that doesn't mean that things can't change just like that. We saw GAM make an incredible turnaround against Loud yesterday. This is why Fnatic have to be cautious, and sometimes they will fall to their own hubris, and they need to keep it controlled and clean to win a game out against GAM.
I like that. Calm us down, Betty. Focus us back up, because there are some things in favor of GAM. I would say one thing is the top lane 1v1.
Yep.
Kiaya is a full level as we get another little bit of damage.
Arrow has to come out. Jun was a bit far forward. Emo still has kill threat here, but decides not to overtake, and Dragon's still going to be taken all the same. Well, as you mentioned, that top side looking good for GAM, especially with this push into the inner turret with Levi covering as well.
Yeah, Kiaya with his Black Cleaver, with his level advantage there over Oscar is kind of the one point that they have to leverage.
I mean, let's also think about Levi in the last, 2 minutes, took Raptors, he took Red, moved to top side, took Blue, took Gromp. So he was taking all sorts of camps, and he's actually immediately closed that jungle level discrepancy. They also unlocked a top tower. So credit to GAM, even though they find themselves in this deficit, they're playing around the map well, and they're trying to mitigate Fnatic's pick potential, which is something that we continue to see Fnatic do on these side lanes.
Yeah, generally, they just want to try and force things that are going to be away from Noah, away from this super rich Kalista. Because if they can do that, then you can, fight away from the giant gold lead and fight your way right back into it.
You get that from Levi, don't you? Not only just a pick, but the guy who's been in GAM all of his esports life, apart from that 2018-2019 period. The biggest part about GAM right now, though, is no objectives to play for apart from that Baron topside, but they don't care. They're setting up for bot. The Weaver's Wall comes through, and Razork on the wrong side of it, or rather the right one. Sonic Wave again follows through, and Humanoid just there to cover as that ultimate committed. All the Baron spawns as potential.
Siege onto mid, going to be challenging, because they don't have much of a wave to play with. Noah going to show that respect. Look, once again at the side lanes, Oscar catching top. Looks like he's not interested in fast pushing that. He knows there's no real objectives on the map for him to play for, so Kiaya, he can just let him kind of wander around the map. He's not too concerned about that. Same in the bot side. That's going to get cleared out. Humanoid with a quick reset. Arm guard now secured for him. Means that Orianna is going to be a lot safer, as the Flash is going to be coming off cooldown now. Speaking of summoners, pretty much available across the board for everyone. So, going to be an interesting fight if we do get one in the next few minutes, as with Baron spawning soon.
Come on, you know Fnatic, bro, there's a fight.
The big challenge for Fnatic, honestly, is sieging. You look at the wave clear on GAM's roster, and it's Varus plus Talia, Maokai ultimate to zone you away if they're really scared about a potential siege as well. So Fnatic, they're going to be forced to move into the enemy jungle, kind of force GAM out of these spaces, and then leverage numbers by collapsing on side to unlock the map more. Yeah,
I think the benefit here for Fnatic is that they've got good push on the side wave there. So that big wave you're talking about, Oscar, building up, they can push out that side one. Humanoid on bottom side, pretty safe with being able to get his bottom one push too. So after this reset, now one more purchase for Noah, they can go back to mid. And if you just finish off the like 50% health that's left on that mid tower, then you open up the map for these Ash Arrow picks, and they can try and get some kills before going towards the deeper towers.
I'd love to actually see Fnatic, not necessarily now, but perhaps after the next Dragon, using Baron more as a tool to turn and force fights. If you don't believe that you're effective at sieging onto these towers, instead leverage the neutrals to force them into you, and then you can actually find the fights that you're looking for.
Or at the very least, pull them out onto the map and then hit them with the Ash Arrow.
I think the pick potential from Jun is what we're focusing on here, and couldn't agree more. As Jun continues clearing out vision, maybe that's the angle being set up now. There's a cheeky ward behind them though. Fnatic haven't been able to clear too much, and Jun missing a lot of wards here that are giving GAM time and relaxation towards this pit.
And if we look at it from the perspective here for GAM, their number one priority is to keep this mid tower alive. If they have the defense of this mid tower, that allows them a lot easier time of keeping some vision around Baron, make sure Fnatic aren't able to sneak that one. So they're trying to keep this point of defense up and hope for a nice opportunity to burst down one of the squishier members.
Because you look at the current map state, Humanoid can't really push past the river. You see him in bot lane, he only ever clears out that wave and then he immediately goes back to base because he knows he's on the weak side. I think Fnatic could consider actually swapping things around to get Humanoid more involved with the rest of the team. Now the Zhonya's is completed, look at him, making a beeline towards the mid lane. Oscar's been brought down to Fnatic, recognize the spikes that are being hit, and now they feel strong enough to try and force these fights with Dragon on the table in 45 seconds.
That critical objective, the mid lane tower acquired here for Fnatic. Now you get to put in your shallow wards here through the jungle on both sides. And GAM are going to have a much more difficult time coming to contest these objectives.
Humanoid clears out the wave, or rather clears out the ward. Wave will be next. Pings are coming down though. Should ignore the Dragon for the time being because it looks like GAM are trying to threaten, get some vision themselves in the meantime. Fnatic making the response as GAM is split up and looking for potential angles, especially with Kiaya getting that push up in the top side. Oh, okay, he's going to hold on to Edge of Night for the time being.
We can see what GAM saw. We saw what GAM saw in that moment.
Something like
you can see that there was very little vision across the map. They have a bit of information around the river, but ultimately, even though they are slowing the game down, they are very limited in terms of their options. They're just trying to stall and wait for that Fnatic overextension or mistake, which, for the time being, Fnatic are not presenting GAM with.
Yeah, GAM don't want to, risk everything on one of these like mini objectives. It's got to be one of those big game-breaking ones. If Fnatic really commit to a Baron, or if Fnatic really commit to the Dragon Soul coming up, then they'll throw it all.
I mean, I'm looking towards it. The Soul's coming up in 5 minutes' time. Ladies and gentlemen at home, we've been sitting slow for a while. We had an explosive early game. We had set up for dives. We have Fnatic taking over. I think this kind of shows you the experience of people in GAM, but also the setup they've been able to achieve, even from such a deficit. The fact that the game's not so slow and it's not over is speaking volumes to a team that, again, came back from what felt like an easy series from Loud. People like Levi setting it up well. Vedius already talked about the invade and the resources he's been taken away. He's still doing that with deep control wards, spotting out Razork and hitting the other side of the map.
So now, we talked about Baron earlier. This is where it becomes an important objective on the map. They're continuing to send Humanoid bot as an arrow.
I just complimented this guy. Safeguard going to be used. The poke from Noah, disgusting, by the way. Almost 4 items on this Ballista as they try and spot out. No Dragon down here, but the pick again that could lead up towards that topside Baron. Is what Fnatic keep fishing for with such a low cooldown on the Ash Arrow.
Yeah, they were really hoping there to get Levi's flash. Fnatic, if you could get that jungle flash away before the Dragon Soul fight, that would be the big victory there in that attempted pick. They don't quite get it go. Good job by Levi, remaining calm, saving his summoner spell.
Interesting. Fnatic have shifted their priorities to this bot tier 2. Notice how they use their mid control into finding that pick in the river. Levi does get away with his life, but he's being forced back, and now Humanoid has the safety to push this wave all the way underneath the tier 2 tower. Kiaya now going to answer that as Razork makes his way back towards mid. More gold wants to be spent though. Fnatic, I'm surprised at this point in time. I feel like you should feel incredibly strong.
Yeah.
And there's a Youmuu's now picked up for Noah. This should be the go signal. I feel like that they should really start leveraging this Baron now to try and force GAM into a fight that they shouldn't be able to win.
Yeah, it almost feels like they've decided, hey, we're going to go for this Dragon Soul first. We got another 3 minutes.
Maybe.
And they've done a good job avoiding like a Taliyah side play where GAM, you're a little bit worried about them, you know, chasing one of your side laners down, like you were talking about some of the hesitancy moving past the halfway point. If there's like a Taliyah wall and something and pick somebody off, they don't want to let GAM get, of course, Noah's bounty as they play.
Yeah, look, they're really committed to this bot tier 2 right now. It's an easier, safer objective. Jun and Noah kind of controlling the bot side jungle to make it harder for GAM to even approach and assist Kiaya on the bot side of the map. Meanwhile, top lane, Oscar continues to create this massive wave. We'll see if Fnatic convert anything off the back of that. Nope, they're just going to keep the pressure up. They have their eyes set on this bot tier 2.
Yeah, if you just continue to keep pressure up on bottom over here, then you can just starve out all of vision leading up to the Dragon as well for this fight. So 2 minutes on the clock still.
Maybe just a siege for the time being. Levi gets poked on the side as well, but the siege continues. This time works out well. Weaver's wall zones them off, though. The shockwave brings in 3 off the edge, and Razork flushes in for the Crescent Guard. They've done the damage. Fnatic need the kills. Razork absorbing it all, and his fear becomes death. Eventually, Oscarin joins in too. Levi got to the backside, but he can't finish the job either. A couple of whiffs, a couple of movements, but Fnatic still remain on top as Easy Love is next up, and Noah's still a threat. Finally, with Fnatic showing their moves again.
A great shockwave from Humanoid means that GAM can't really commit to the rest of the fight. Levi finds a nice angle onto the backline, but GAM become disjointed. They find a kill, they shut down Razork, but it's not quite enough as Fnatic. They extend the gold lead even more. They secure the tower, and it all starts off with Jun's arrow.
Exactly, as the tower is getting whittled down here. And then on the escape, they got the volley slow into the W slow there from Razork, and Razork took it all the way in. There's the shockwave that you're talking about. Then Razork follows that shockwave by going for the ultimate play there to further separate them. And as you're talking about hysterics on the backside, Levi is there, but he just gets focused down.
A nice fight overall from Fnatic. They find 3, Oscar. They get the tower. I already know what's being spammed in the chat. Guys, he was there, and that's what matters, okay? He was there.
Well, gents, I think we need to set up. It's been a slower mid-game, but Ocean Soul's coming up. Arrow's going to come through, and that speeds things up again. Razork from an angle. Oscar running forward. Again, the Crescent Guard good. Sends Elio into the rest of the team, and the damage is too much. Now, finally, Fnatic continuing to switch on, exposing GAM from coming out from their safety net. Eventually, Fnatic are going to move this Dragon, and GAM are at a disadvantage again.
That was a sick knockback.
Kiaya with the shockwave creates another Razork for the knock-up. Sterak's Gage saves his life, but into Humanoid at full HP. Fear Beyond Death does nada. Easy Love and Emo running for the life with the Fate's Call running through as well. Our Observer thinking, wait a minute, where's Jun going to go? But still another for Fnatic and an Ocean Soul easily done.
These Razork knockback plays are looking pretty sick here. Nice and smooth from him. And GAM, they just have no recourse here. Kiaya now down on this one, and even though he'll have his Unleashed Teleport when he gets back up, you know, Dragon Soul's already picked up there by Fnatic. They're feeling fully confident in this game. Now that you have an Ocean Dragon Soul, Vedius, your Baron starts are so easy. You can just keep on healing and try and pull GAM over to you, try and force more and more advantages.
Yeah, I mean, I will say that often the tool of Baron and why you'd want to use it as a way to force fights is if you have concerns around scaling. And I guess Fnatic, they evaluated what they were playing against. They saw the gold lead and they said, you know what, as long as we maintain this gold lead, what are we really concerned about in the scaling front? I don't think that GAM's composition is really going to outscale us, so let's do exactly what Kobe said. Let's instead prioritize playing around the Dragons. Let's instead play around these neutral tier 2s, and to their credit, they've done a very good job of controlling the game. They've taken their time, they haven't tried to rush things, and while some of their fights have been a little chaotic at times, ultimately it's still gone in the way of Fnatic, and they find themselves nearly 10,000 gold up.
Fnatic just on the edge of this game have been for a while, but now that it's continued to evaporate as we see an arrow follow through, it's GAM's chances that are going to move against match point as Ilio is caught on out. The next grass comes through, but Razork again absorbing damage. He's controlled this game, and let's not forget, the reason that Fnatic are going to win this game 1 mainly stems off this guy that is now setting them up for Baron versus a 5v4.
Baron going to be started. Levi still alive, means that there's a potential for a steal, and Jun and Humanoid, their responsibility is keeping him out of the pit.
Yaya needs a fear beyond death, beyond God. Sonic Wave, Humanoid goes golden, you got countered. Levi trying to run in, but he won't get a kick anymore. The Zhonya's from Humanoid, exceptional. And as is Fnatic's performance opening up this series.
Mission accomplished. Levi denied access to the pit. Oscar, though, in a bit of danger here.
He's with the boys. The arrow comes through. He's got a helping hand. He's taken on the world. The turret will go down, but Fear Beyond Death needs a little bit more. He's got the Ocean Soul, but hang on. Fear finally comes through. Kiaya doesn't get anyone with it, though. He ends up getting traded off. So Baron away from one member, but as GAM, you're grasping at straws. You're grasping at whatever Fnatic have to offer at this point in the game.
GAM are being herded right now. Emo is trying to escape, but it will not be enough. Jun. Oh, right. He's found him.
Okay, easy love. All right, find something here onto Jun. Wait, Fate's call. That's unfair. And at 31 minutes, at 20 kills, Fnatic still clean house.
Yeah, look at Humanoid. He was already beelining it straight down mid lane. He finishes up with that turret with the thanks to the help of the Baron buff here for them. And Fnatic, after that little bit of fun, chasing down some extra kills through the jungle, will get their reset off and return to finish the job. This was so smooth here from Humanoid, because you know Levi's coming in for that kickback.
Very well played. Nice use of the Zhonyas. And yeah, I mean, Razork sets him up, but Noah's knocking him down. Boys, 10-0-7. A big confidence booster for him after the series against Top Esports, where it really was the Jackie Love show. And I think it was Kobe that said it at the start of the series. It really does feel like that the team has played around to give him that confidence and to set him up for success, and he is delivering for Fnatic right now.
I mean, they are a strong bot side, let's be real, with Jun as well coming into the roster. It's been such a great addition for Fnatic to play through, especially with how they sync up with mid-jungle. It's been great to watch, especially in this first game, opening up the series for Fnatic. They don't want to let the West down today. It's already been a harsh day.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, Kobe.
For the West, can I just jump on your guys' side now?
You definitely can. You're welcome.
That's how it works, right? Doesn't EU and NA get along?
I'm down.
All right. Levi's going to get away, but he's on the wrong side of the map, by the way, so they're going to chase him down.
I will admit, chasing him does feel like a bit of a waste of time for Fnatic.
Yep.
And Noah,
is it a waste of time if you're having fun?
Yeah.
I love hide and seek.
Yes, it is.
All right, thank you, Dad. Let's see if Fnatic can end the game.
I think they can, Bettius. I think right now with the Weaver's Wall, it's only buying a bit of time. I mean, Levi, he's doing the SOFM right now, trying to get an ultimate flank from downtown. This guy needs to get on a train, though. Next one leaves in about 5 seconds. There we go. As he runs into Central, he realizes, hang on, do I have to get a change here? Wait, onto Humanoid. It might be a setup, though, but Oscar Rinnan's the one that gets flipped. No chance at all. The shockwave comes through. Even with the shove, even with the damage, the arrow follows suit, and Oscar gives the setup over to the rest of Fnatic. From the start, this has been their game to lose, and they haven't lost sight of it. Yes, things got slow, but still at the end, there's no one-shots. This team's shown up massive, and GAM may have had the element of surprise against Loud, but opening up the series here today, Fnatic on a whirlwind of emotion, thanks to the West from before, open up with a bang to this qualifying series.
And Fnatic with a...
off of the dive when Fnatic kind of messed it up a little bit. They had a 2 for, like, and then it starts going, oh, it's a 2 for 1 for Fnatic the next time. It's like, Fnatic kept finding advantages in the skirmishes slightly, even when GAM were able to get something. And then they also had insane objective control. One of the people that got ahead was Noah.
Yeah, and to be honest, like, even if you get a small advantage from lane swap, like the other consequences of lane swapping in the way this happened is the AD carries just get more gold.
Yep.
Right, like they both get free lanes, they both get plates, and Noah and Fnatic just made much better use of it. So he took the Kalista, he powered up with the first lethality item, and then he was a big difference maker in all of the skirmishes.
And that's the thing, like if you can get this advantage through the ADC and stall the game after that, that's all you need, because you know that GAM is gonna want to be overly aggressive, and if you don't give them these opportunities, how